what's going on and how we feel about it or what we hear, you know, you could bring that back and digest it with the other parents of other schools, you know, in the area and come up with solutions. And I think the transparency of having this is a great thing.
It is. And I would agree that we talked about just initiating and having a meeting, but to set up something that works, so if it's twice a year or as needed, as you say, I think we're open to that.
I know Vice Mayor Shuey had a few things he wanted to ask or discuss.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, and I agree, and I think we all are in agreement. In fact, we actually have an education liaison subcommittee of Julie and I, and we were actually in the process of talking about contacting you guys and getting together when we got, Barbara, your email to Hank saying, hey, let's get together. And it was like, perfect, that's great. One of the things that I would like to see, and again, whether it's once a year or something, is the communication about what we can do to help each other and what we can do as a city to help you as a district. Some of the stuff we've already discussed, traffic safety and all of that. I have discussed at various times with Cheryl and with some of the other city council members, you know, ideas about what we could do to help the district. Things that we talked about, and I don't know whether other cities have actually taken a bigger oar in this now, but you know, in terms of the requirements that volunteers have to be fingerprinted and things like that, obviously that has to go through a police department or some other way. One of the things that I've talked with others about, including Cheryl, was perhaps the cities can partner with you guys to hold, you know, the police come to campus, to each campus, and facilitate the volunteer application forms. And I'll get to the volunteer thing in a minute, but I think that's a huge aspect as the budget cuts hit everybody. We're definitely at the charter relying more on volunteers. Elementary schools have always relied a lot more on volunteers. Middle school gets less, and then the high school is always, you know, you're not allowed here. The charter has done that, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I think that that's something that, as you guys encounter difficulties and we have a relationship, to be able to call and say, or to email and say, hey, do you guys have any thoughts on this? And that's one of the things that volunteer things that we could do. And it is vital, as we all learned from the charter effort. We didn't have any relationships to fall back on, and to call up and say, let's cool down, let's talk this out. This is a first step, and thank you for doing that and initiating that. And that gets to of course, the elephant in the room, which is the charter. And I think you guys are probably all aware of it, but as a council, we remain very engaged with the charter, as does the community. I think everybody here on the council individually talks to teachers, administrators, kids, parents, almost on a daily basis at the charter, and we are absolutely thrilled at what is going on there. I think it's unprecedented community involvement, and one of the things that I think that has really made a difference, and I would encourage the district to really look at the charter in this way as a way to help some of the other schools in the district, and that is the volunteerism. I've been on the council for over a decade, went through multiple principals at Clayton Valley before the charter. And one of the biggest complaints we always got from PFCs and from parents was, gosh, I got to do all this stuff at the elementary school. I got to be, you know, the room mom, and we did this and all of this stuff. Then you get up to the middle school and you get a little less involved. They don't want as much. And then you got to the high school and you were completely shut out. And I remember talking to different principals about, hey, what can we do? Well, we really, you know, there was just kind of a policy against it. The charter now has almost 300 volunteers on a database that they call upon on a weekly basis. They have an email, they actually have a volunteer coordinator, and they send out an email blast, and I think everybody on the council gets it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times a week, as much as is needed. And it basically goes out and says, by the way, Dr. Meyer needs 2 volunteers to help stuff envelopes, you know, for 4 hours on this day, and bang, parents are down there. It involves moving, help with classrooms, cleaning, all sorts of things. And that volunteer effort, I don't think has ever been done anywhere, and at the high school level. And we have parents whose kids have graduated that remain involved. And that alone, I think, is one thing that I've just noticed a huge difference. And I would encourage you guys to